This is little 7-year-old Athena Strand. She was reported missing from her home in Paradise, Texas on Wednesday, November 30th. Her body was found 6 miles away 2 days after she was reported missing. And yes, they do have a suspect. Tanner Lynn Horner is his name. He's been arrested and charged with kidnapping and murdering Athena. He's a contract Fedex driver who made a delivery at Athena's home. Here's what the Wise County Sheriff is saying. We knew early on in the investigation that there had been a Fedex driver that had made a delivery at the house about the same time that little 7-year-old Athena came up missing. We think Athena died within just an hour or so of her departure from her home. Had to be absolutely terrifying for that little girl. And our thoughts are with the family tonight and everyone. Is joining us now also in Los Angeles, California, forensic psychiatrist, trial expert, witness, and columnist of Inside the Criminal Mind. Dr. Carole Lieberman is with us. Dr. Lieberman, let me start with you because there's an alleged confession from this killer. So I'm trying to understand this. I'm trying to understand, is this someone who is just wired so completely wrong that it was just a matter of time, or someone that maybe has done this before that we need to look at? What makes someone who's working as a FedEx driver to just make a delivery, see a 7-year-old, and say, oh, I need to abduct and kill this innocent child?
Well, I think it was a crime of opportunity. First of all, I don't think he set out that morning to look for a 7-year-old necessarily. She was really adorable. And what's particularly interesting is that there's a woman who's come forward named Shay Marie, who is alleging that he raped her when she was 16 years old in 2014. And she looks, what's really chilling is that she looks very much like Athena, an older version of Athena. So I think, that's part of it, that he has, if that's true, that he has this in his background. And what's really sad is that if she had told police, she told authorities, and she's been writing about this, on social media and so on for years. And it's sad that, he wasn't stopped at that point.
Yeah, Dr. Carole Lieberman, do you think someone like this, again, if he is the one who is responsible, there's an alleged confession here, sought out this type of work? We always talk about pedophiles sometimes trying to become a coach or, some sort of position like that where they can get to children. I wonder if when he's looking for some work, he's like, oh, this could be an opportunity. I just go from house to house to house. Sooner or later, I'm going to come across someone, and I've got this great truck that I could just, throw them in.
Well, but that is kind of the chances of meeting a child aren't as good as, let's say, working at the park, for example, as a cleaner at the park. Or, there are other jobs where you might have more chance. But he's a very interesting guy, because his Facebook account, for example, he describes himself as an Aspie, which is a form for Asperger's. He's talking about that. Well, this would indicate that he thinks, in any case, that he has Asperger's, which is high-functioning autism. And he says, Aspie, non-neurotypical, musician, metalhead, love is stupid, and not to mention completely asinine. He has a number of posts that seem to show that he was very hurt by love. He also has pictures of a baby, presumably his baby, about 1 year old, that he has on his Facebook. Could be somebody else's baby, but so he's a very complicated man. Now, is he going to use, or is his defense attorney going to use Asperger's, if he does have Asperger's, as a, for a psychological defense? Probably, but he'd have to prove that that was true. So I don't know if he picked that job necessarily, but I think he's very complicated, and not in a good way.
Yeah, well, we do know in Texas they do still have the death penalty, so we'll see what prosecutors do in this one. Our guest is Dr. Carole Lieberman. I don't know how mom recovers from this.
Really, really heartbreaking. One of the things she also wrote was about when Athena was born, or when she was growing up, the biological mother and father said to each other about how beautiful she was, and they were worried about her because of that. In other words, that she would be very tempting to a monster. What's also hard for the biological mother is that the daughter had, Athena had a fight with her stepmother, where the stepmother said, "We had a little bit of an argument," and apparently that was this has happened before, times before, where then Athena runs out into the front, or runs away in any case, and so it's so hard. And she was supposed to go back to her biological mother for Christmas, and she was supposed to be with her father and stepmother for the school term, the fall term, and then go back to her mother for Christmas. I mean, of course, the biological mother is, questioning herself and thinking, "Oh, why did I let her go there? And if she had been with me," people do that when a loved one dies. They just ask themselves, "Well, why did I should have done this, or I should have done that?" I mean, yes, it just makes it that much more painful.
We are out of time, but a big thank you to David and Dr. Carole Lieberman. Appreciate your insight, perspective, and your valuable time. We'll see you again really, really soon.